Imagine walking through a desert for miles. Nothing around you but red earth, rocks, and dust. You think you're alone. You're not. Beneath your feet, a spider longer than a football field stretches across the ground. A massive condor spreads its wings under your boots. Shapes so enormous that standing on them you see absolutely nothing. And that's the terrifying part. For nearly 2,000 years, the people of the Peruvian desert carved symbols into the earth itself, so large they can only be understood from the sky. No planes, no drones, no satellites. So why create something they could never truly see? Because these lines weren't made for humans. They were a message. Our journey begins 400 kilometers south of the city of Lima, in a place called the Ica Tablazo. This isn't just a desert, it's a tectonic altar, a flat piece of land pushed up by the earth itself. It is one of the driest places on the planet. It rarely rains here. No wind, no water, just silence. Between 500 BCE and 500 CE, two civilizations, the Proulx and the Nasca, began to scar this land. They didn't use paint, they used a negative technique. The surface of this desert is covered in dark, rusty rocks, but just an inch below is a pale yellow-gray clay. By moving the dark rocks to the side, they revealed the bones of the earth. But look closely. The lines are perfectly straight for miles. How did they do this 2,000 years ago without a view from above? Some say they used simple ropes. Others whisper about spirit flight. But as we look at the shapes, we realize the shapes are looking back. 1930s, when commercial flight arrived, that the condor's view revealed the true scale of the horror and the beauty. An American named Paul Kasov looked down and saw what he called the greatest astronomy book in the world. Then came Maria Reiche, the lady of the lines. She gave 40 years of her life to this desert, sweeping the lines with a broom, obsessed with their mathematical precision. She saved them for UNESCO, but she only saw the surface. She didn't see the blood in the geometry. Because while Maria saw math, Reinhardt saw a scream for survival. The Nazca were terrified. They lived in a world without water. They worshipped mountains like Cerro Blanco and Tunga as gods who controlled the rain. Deep in the desert at Kawachi, we found the dark proof of their fear: trophy heads, real human skulls with holes drilled for carrying straps. For 100 years, we thought we knew every figure in the desert. We were blind. In late 2024, everything changed. Scientists from Yamagata University and IBM used artificial intelligence to do what humans couldn't. They scanned the land with digital eyes. In just 6 months, the AI found 303 new geoglyphs. This doubled everything we knew in a single moment. And what the AI found was chilling. These weren't the beautiful birds we see on postcards. These were smaller, relief-type figures. The machine analyzed terabytes of geospatial data, searching for the faintest soil contrasts that the human brain simply filters out. It looked through the dust of 2,000 years and found scenes of humans interacting with beasts, and most disturbingly, more decapitated heads, dozens of them hidden in the terrain. These aren't just lines, they are relief-type figures carved into the hills where they could be seen by someone walking the ancient paths. They served as a constant, grisly reminder of the power of the gods. The AI revealed that the Nazca people lived in a landscape literally saturated with the imagery of death and sacrifice. We used to think this was a lonely desert. Now we know it was a crowded, haunted gallery of horrors brought back to life by the cold logic of a silicon mind. These 303 new ghosts prove that the Nazca Desert wasn't just a site, it was a massive, crowded communication network between the living and the spirits. And the AI is just getting started. You would think a place like this mysterious would be protected forever. But in May 2025, the darkness turned political. The Peruvian government issued Resolution 128/2025. In a single day, they cut the protected area of the Nazca Lines by 42%. Over 2,000 square kilometers were suddenly open for business. Why? Gold. Illegal mining and urban sprawl began to crawl toward the lines. Those 303 new spirits found by the AI, they were suddenly unprotected. Bulldozers were ready to turn 2,000 years of history into a gravel pit. For a few weeks in 2025, the Nazca Lines were on the verge of being erased forever. The world screamed in protest. UNESCO stepped in. Finally, in June 2025, the decision was reversed. The boundaries were restored, and a new Nazca Executing Unit was formed to guard the desert with permanent boots on the ground. But the scar remains. It showed us that the greatest threat to history isn't time, it's us. The Nazca Lines were never meant for humans to see. They were built for the gods, walked by the drugged, and kept alive by the sacrificed. Today, we have satellites and AI to map every inch, but the why still haunts us. As the sun sets over the Pampa Colorada, the lines seem to glow. They are a reminder that we are not the first to try and control the earth. And if we aren't careful, our own civilization might one day be nothing more than a faint line in the sand, waiting for someone or something to look down and wonder who we were. Next time you look at the stars, remember, something in the Nazca Desert is still looking back. Subscribe.